And we're live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Holy Crap, the Vlogcast. A Vlogcast that comes from a skeptical point of view to answer some of the questions of why. This Vlogcast started as a combination of spite and the Streisand effect because, wow, you guys really, do you not even listen to yourselves? Seriously, you really should. We have to. Seems only fair. Part of this is follow through with the old adage, sometimes the journey is more important than the destination. I'm your main host. I'm known as Shujin Tribble all over the place. Shujin. It's hard to miss me. Just look for me. It's easy enough. Just don't go deep diving too far in some of the stuff. What can I say? It's marked if you're not supposed to be looking at it. And if you know about this stuff, you know who you are. Let me go ahead and introduce you to everybody because things are weird tonight. I'll explain very quickly. From just north of me, over the border into, outside of Toronto, just over the border into Ontario, Canada. Good morning, Heretic Woman.
Good morning.
So, as far as the normal folks are concerned, that's it. So, we'll explain in a couple of moments. Pinch hitting tonight from Centerfield, from
Rhode Island.
From Woonsocket, Rhode Island. That's where I'm from. Get it right, fella.
Fine. We'll do it. Thank you for joining us tonight for the first time. Lobstah Ministries himself. Mystery guests, chime in, please.
Hello. I'm here pinch hitting. I'm just trying to make contact with the ball.
All right.
That works for me. In left field tonight, coming in from Pennsylvania, USA, for more than the first time. Beth, God damn it, Beth, really? This is the best we could come up with for you? Keeping you awake tonight? Thank you.
Well, yeah, but hello again.
Yeah. So for anybody... Yeah, for anybody keeping track of score, basically this means that the, let's see, how do we best put this? The Beyond the Trailer Park, Holy Crap, Atheist, the whole thing. This is big. Okay.
Yeah, this is more my show than your show at this point.
A little bit. And that's okay. Basically, this turns out to be a giant cluster. Short version. Dalan's not home. I forgot.
Well, Dalan is actually home, but...
Well, yes. Sorry, I should clarify that. He's visiting family. Joey is unknown at the moment. UnrenownedTech is out socializing. Joseph is... For all I know, he's screwing the donkey that's pulling in his coffee tonight. I don't even know.
He's probably still finishing his bathroom.
He probably is, which is perfectly fine. Yes. And I did get word from Brigid. Have you guys seen My Cousin Vinny? You remember the scene where he comes into court and he says that the whole dry cleaners has got the flu? That's kind of what's going on for her with her place. So not only is like the flu going rampant around over there for her and company, they've got a specialized variant apparently that's made people kind of go, that's weird. So we got that going for us. So hon, whenever it is that you wake up and you actually catch any of this, we're hoping that you're feeling better just quickly. Because, Hey,
thoughts and prayers, man.
Yeah.
That's, wow. We could have used that for last week's
yes.
show.
Last week we talked about diddling priests. Lots of thoughts and prayers.
I wanted that. I messaged you and I was like, come on, man.
You missed it. You missed it.
Can I make a comment here? Now, sure. I want everybody to know, and people that know me, know I've got a pretty trashy mouth. And I was kind of warned very nicely, might I add, right? This isn't a show, but we try to keep the language down. And I'm like, I will do my best. I make no promises, but I will do my best, right? So I've said nothing, but since the entire show started, the person that I guess, was one of them that, is all against, let's keep the language down, is the only one who's used foul language, and he brought up animal sex, right? So what kind of games are we playing here, folks?
Okay,
right?
Let's be fair. We said that we keep the language down voluntarily. Now,
I know
that doesn't mean for the whole show, it means individually. So that means that if I want to go ahead and get away with saying fuck once for the show, I just did it, so I'm good. So,
yeah.
No, I understand. It was just the discussion we had before we went live, and I'm like, look, I get it, I and then it's like we start, and I hear it, God damn it, and then it's something about having sex with a donkey, and I'm like, come on, man, I can comment on this shit. No, I'm sorry.
Shit's fine.
Yeah,
shit's fine. We just try to keep the F. It's just the F-bombs we try to keep to minimum.
I know.
See now,
when you're talking about diddling priests,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But that was last week.
Hey, did you hear about? And I'm not trying to make this a topic, but I haven't really had a chance to see. There's that one bishop or something. I forgot. There's so many articles out right now. He wants people to go up and thank a priest now for not molesting a child. Right?
Okay. Here we go.
It's kind of like thanking a military code. When you come up to somebody that you serve, they go, "Hey, thank you for your service," right? And this guy wants people to walk up to priests. I guess they haven't been convicted because how do you fucking know?
I was gonna say, good luck finding one of those.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that everyone is, and I'm not even going in that way, but just to say, hey, walk up to your local priest and go, "Hey, man, thanks for not fucking my kid." I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, Detective, thank you very much for not shooting and killing me because I have extra melanin tonight. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And being experienced.
Hey, Mr. Serial Killer, thanks for not killing my family.
Yeah, bravo. So yeah. So we've got we got stuff that we're gonna. Okay. Before we go ahead and I get rolling into the real thing, I want you guys to know about something about last week's show, because I did not say anything about this after the show. I did not say anything about this on social media or to anyone at all. We get done. It's a little after 2 in the morning local time for all of us over here on the East Coast. I get done putting everything together, the show notes, getting them updated on YouTube, and we get done talking, whatever, drop off the call. It's called 3:00. I spin down after that, and sometimes get to sleep about 3:30. I was so emotionally wrecked out after last week's show. I did not wake up until well after 1:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, wow.
So for you guys, I want you to know that these times where I've had very emotionally charged shows, like last week was, yeah. If you had a very harsh reaction to last week's show too, my heart goes out to you. I understand, but you're not alone. So keep it for what it is. For any of you that decided that you were going to pass on last week's show and you're listening to this week's instead, yeah, if this makes you think about it and go, yeah, I really don't want to listen to that, fine, don't worry about it. If you're thinking maybe you do want to go back, really, really consider again. Listen to the intro at least.
What you ask for.
Exactly, because as the expression goes, the genie does not go back in the bottle. So we'll deal with that. Anyway, as always, for those of you that are listening live and watching us right now, thank you very kindly. We do see that you're over there. Phyllis, Stephanie, know that you guys are over there. Anybody else that is watching, of course, live, please participate and join us over in the live chat, I've got it up on the side of the window. Heretic Woman is probably got it. It opened for you finally once I screwed everything back into.
Yes, I have it there.
I have a question before we start, and I'm sorry. I meant to ask this before we started. What channel is this on? I'd like to see it on YouTube and like share it. You know,
Holy crap!
Oh, just write "Holy crap."
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, Holy Crap, the vlogcast. Properly.
Yes.
I'll make sure that you've got the link when we're done, because I need to make sure that I get all of your contact information too, because that's kind of the way it's going to be.
So people can check you out.
Yes. So I will actually, as a matter of fact, hold on a second. In our text chat, here is the actual link to tonight's show, which is going on right now. So you've got that for you. So if you want to open up the text chat, you can do that for yourself. But otherwise, let me get everything rolling over here for us. Now that we're, way behind schedule, such is life.
Yeah,
it's the way it works. Anyway, so with 5 minutes on the clock, your 5-minute freestyle starts right now. Tonight, school. Yeah, I know some people are already thinking Alice Cooper. Nah, man, no, I'm not doing that. We know full well that here in the U.S., Canada, school is starting or has started for pretty much all of the population. Tiny Tribble, as a matter of fact, starts up the 4th, surprisingly enough. And the 7th is the anniversary. I didn't realize, I didn't do the numbers, and didn't realize the 7th this year marks the 30th anniversary of when Shujin and I first met at school, and that's a day I will not forget. It was kind of stupid. We should never have met, is what it comes down to. I, kid from Long Island, got accepted temporarily on probation, you could say, to the Fredonia School of Music. Long story there. And Shujin, all the kids in the family had gone to Geneseo instead, and she wanted to go to Fredonia. She wanted to be part of the brand new sound recording technology department. She missed the entrance for the Tonemeisters by one question, which she was really pissed about, but she stuck with it. It was the first day of my second year, and it was the first day of her first year. And I went to go visit somebody that I knew from the year before to find out if she was still in the same room. And she had told me she didn't want to be with a roommate. She couldn't stand it, didn't want. And I go up and I find the room, and I look on the door, and there's her name on the door. Nancy is over there, and all of a sudden I hear from down the hallway on my left, Shujin, obviously not my real name. Shujin, it's you. And I turn, there's Nancy. She's coming up, big old bear hug. It's so good to see you. I want you to meet my new roommate. Oh, wait a minute. You didn't want to have a roommate, and you've got a roommate, and you're happy about this. Weird. Opens up the door, and there's Shujin. And Nancy says, Joan, her real name, I want you to meet, well, obviously not my real name, Shujin. And she looks over from her bed. She looks over at me and she goes, I know you. Wait, really? Yeah, remember? During band, I came in late. Which was true. The music building actually has two fronts of the building. The old building and the new building. You still owe me $20. And she was supposed to meet her friend in front of the music building. Well, she was in front of one side, her friend was in front of the other side, and they finally got sick and tired of waiting for each other because they were going to be late to band, and they met in the middle because they both came in at the same time, and they weren't sure they were at the right door, so they opened up the door and peeked in, and I knew they were freshmen because they had their clarinet cases with them, and I saw that peeking in. I'm sitting over with the percussionists, and I'm a string bass player, and I see them kind of peeking in the door. I'm just like, come on in, come on, you're in the right spot. And they go to sit down, and she remembered me. And I earned the love of my life from that day. I didn't come away with the diploma. Unfortunately, I didn't last the rest of that year, but it was good. I learned a lot. And that's not the only thing that I ended up learning with my education, with my school. Because believe it or not, the vast majority of stuff that I've learned didn't come out of a book. It came out of opening up to somebody. Being able to learn and teach, give and take. I learned a lot. And unfortunately, I had to learn a lot about myself and a lot of pieces that I don't like, even to this day. Because she's been gone for 13 years. Just because you're out of school doesn't mean that you can't learn. In some ways, this is the most important time. If you're somebody that's out of high school, out of college, out of graduate school, you will still learn every day. As somebody once said, when you stop learning, that's when you've stopped living. Because after all, it's amazing who you can learn stuff from. Especially kids that haven't even gotten to school yet. Simplicity of life. It's episode 225 on the docket, Your Honor. Religious entitlement. I was showing the guys just a little bit before we went live that I was at Best Buy because I was, looking around for stuff and trying to see what they had for memory because I need to update the memory on my computer. I've got a video project that I was working on that took me 3 times to render it. Don't ask me what it was because it's got nothing to do with any of this stuff. It's got something to do with the other stuff that I do. And I'm looking around and, I'm looking at cameras just because, just want to look at cameras and something looked wrong on the tabletop. And I saw this kind of almost blending into everything. Steps to Peace with God from the Billy Graham guys.
Ugh.
Now, we've seen these kinds of little booklets and pamphlets all over the place, from stuff like this in beautiful colors to the black and white chick tracks to some of the crap that Heretic Woman has gotten over there, like one of the ones that you've... go ahead and show that off real quick. Yeah, like that one.
I like this one. Are you good enough? Have you kept the commandments?
Yeah, good luck on that. The thing that really pissed me off, though, is finding out that this little booklet, when I flipped it over on the opposite side, has actually got an honest-to-God barcode and ISBN on it, which means it's a legit publication that's registered somewhere. So we're going to basically go through this stuff and talk about why these guys think it's okay to basically litter wherever the hell they want to drop these pieces of propaganda for no other reason other than they think, well, I can because I should, because littering.
Oh man, I just pulled up the website for one of the tracks that I've got, and right on their front page is an ad for something called printmytract.com. Says, do you have a tract idea? We can help.
Well, considering the screwball is long dead now, somebody's got to do the job, right?
They have another commercial on TV that I see a lot that says, the guy says, "Are you a Christian author wanting to be published?" It's called ChristianAuthors.com. And you send them their stuff, and they, it's like putting a book on Amazon, I guess, or on, you know what I mean? These people that, if you buy a book, then they print one and ship it to you or whatever, but, it's all.
So yeah, we're gonna we're gonna basically lambast these guys and tear them a new one because you really need to do that. Just before we go ahead and get into that one, real quickly, Heretic Woman, as usual, since I'll get you back and you can kind of help me out on this one. Yes. The only news I've got on Rafe Badawi is just the information from previously where his sister was picked up, and I haven't heard anything on that yet, as far as being released or anything.
No, I haven't heard anything either. Now, luckily, Saudi Arabia hasn't said anything crappy about Canada lately, so
that's nice.
There's that. Gee, thanks, Saudi prince, asshole.
Yeah, 2 step forward, 1 step back, man. You can do better than that, but yeah. So we'll see how this plays out. Anyway, in the meantime, as of the recording of tonight's show, then, because there's been no change, it has now been 6 years, 2 months, 17 days since Rafe Badawi was unjustly incarcerated for thought crime. Thoughts and our hopes are still with you and your family, and we're still hoping the hope, man. We're still waiting. So let's cover a couple of bases. Since we mentioned about chick tracts, Lobstah, you've obviously got some knowledge whatsoever about what chick tracts were, and continue to be to this day. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember finding it. You'd find them in a phone booth. You'd find them, literally everywhere, right? You just see them laying around and everything, right?
I'm sorry. Wait a second. A phone booth? What's this?
Yeah, they used to actually have watch Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and you can see what a phone booth was. But yeah, a booth, covered booth with an actual public telephone where you can put a dime in and make a local call. But long before internet, and yeah, I know I'm old as.
Sorry.
No, but you would find them anywhere, in the locker room, or a friend would, just everywhere, right? And I read them, and at first I thought, oh, it's a comic book type thing, and then they start talking about, hell and fire, brimstone, and people. I just remember seeing this one, do you want to go to hell or shit? And there's these people falling off this cliff, into a fire, and it's like, but yeah, they've been around for.
What feels like forever. I think one of my favorite ones was probably the one about Dungeons and Dragons and how.
Oh yeah.
You'd be turning your soul over to the devil, and you're going to go ahead and learn black magic and have incest with your father. And
before the internet, you have to understand, before the internet, when you would hear rumors like that, right? It wasn't like you could go Google it, right? Stories traveled differently. There was still, and if you heard it in church, well, there you go. It's, and they would talk to people like it was true, right? Even, you didn't see it on the news, but when you did see something paranormal or spiritual on like the regular news or something, they still tried to make it look like it was real,
Yeah.
And so why,
Yeah, I had one. I just had a look, and I don't remember where I put it, but I had one laying around.
Were a thing back in my day, so
yeah. Well, funny enough, we were up in Clifton Hill for the Niagara Race Speedway, whatever it was, go-kart thing that recently opened up, and we were walking for dinner, and honest to God, there's an actual phone booth. The door's been taken off, unfortunately, but the thing that killed me was it actually had an incoming phone number printed on the.
Oh wow!
Yeah. There were times, and I never actually had to do this, but if you watch movies or you could talk to some people, sometime like in a lot of cities, right, there would be a pay phone. This is before everybody had a phone, right? There would be a pay phone on the corner with a number on it, right? Yep. And literally the whole neighborhood would use that as their home phone, right?
Wow.
So yeah.
Now, the last time I saw, well, I've seen, the typical glass phone booth, but of course, there's the iconic red London phone booth.
Or the blue one.
Yeah, so no, that's a police box.
Shh! Don't kill my buzzword.
Okay. When I was in London back in '99.
Don't worry, I got this for you if he gets killed. Yeah.
All right. There were lots of phone booths yet, because this was like, some people had cell phones, but they were still pretty expensive. But the phone booths in London at the time, inside them would have these cards, the types of these that I didn't mind, because they were all for lady escorts.
Oh.
So they were stuck all inside the phone booth. So it would be like a one-piece card, kind of about that size, and it would have her picture and sort of, the basics of what she did, as in, I escort, I'd go on dates and whatnot, and a phone number where you could try and reach said lady. Although I'm guessing you would get an agency that would provide you a lady and not necessarily that lady, but still. And so the entire week I was there, I actually collected as many as I could. It was like trading cards. It was awesome.
We all collect strange things,
Yeah, I don't remember what happened to the collection though, but I don't have it anymore, unfortunately.
You gotta remember too, Jack Chick actually started them back in the 50s. They started taking off around 72, and there's over 250 titles of the original, with 100 still in print.
Oh, there's a whole website where you can go and order whichever ones for your church in bulk.
Yeah, and you can read. They're all online, and chick tracts, like when I was in college, were a big thing. But the guy is so anti-Catholic, anti-Islam, paganism. They're just horrid. It's like,
well, and some of them are so nasty. So I didn't go to Pride this past year, but the year before, we went, and there was a Christian group on near Young Dundas Square, which is not the City Hall Square, but it's another large famous square. And they were handing out chick tracts. It was the same tract. They had hundreds of the same one, but it was basically saying that gay love wasn't real love, and you were all gonna burn in hell because you liked somebody of the same sex. And it was disgusting. They were handing these out to gay people on Pride, and I was like, we ended up debating with the one of them for like 3 hours. And I right up front told him, I said, you passing these out to people today is freaking disgusting.
Well,
like, it's sick.
If you think about it, the Christian Booksellers Association and Christianity Today has both panned them.
Yeah.
So you're talking basically two of the biggest, organizations as far as media, print media. Basically, Christianity Today basically has stated that, this is the world of non-learned evangelicals. That's how. And it's like, and even Christianity Today calls them anti-Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they're kind of ones that made the whole game up,
Yeah. So that's pretty harsh criticism coming from within your own subgroup. Now, I have, Christianity Today is a whole nother ball of wax, but when they tell you, it's like, ooh, yeah, that's not good.
Heretic Woman?
Yeah.
You finally, there you go. You finally got that one.
Yeah, I don't know what it was doing before.
I didn't know if you were trying to give somebody a seizure or...
No, although these stupid chick tracts might do that too, but this is the Chick Tract website.
Oh.
And Shujin's counting on my tabs.
When you first said chicks, I was like, yeah, chicks.
Babes.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, we're going to talk about hookers and whores and stuff, and you guys tricked me on this one. I'm just kidding.
No, you're not.
They're stupid because, look at it. Who really thinks, right? Yeah, I'm going to make this little cartoon fucking thing, right? And say a bunch of really stupid. This will change their mind. You know what I mean?
Know. Their Halloween ones are great.
Oh, God.
So, let's see. There's, the little ghost.
Yeah.
So, if you, let's see. Oh, and it gives you the comics here. And it's like a little kid who's dressed up like a ghost. And, she's like, this won't scare me. Well, what if I dress up as the devil? And she's like, devil won't scare me. And like other kids are like, why? Because Jesus loves me and the devil is afraid of Jesus. And the other kid's like, who's Jesus?
Yeah.
Well, what makes them so asinine, for a lack of a better word, is that they're so hyperbolic. They're so the cop in their...
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And if you ever read any of the ones to do with homosexuality, virtually every gay person in them gets AIDS and dies like a horrible death.
Yeah.
And most likely has done heroin.
Yeah.
Well, that's what got me interested, for lack of a better word. Back in the 80s with Jack Chick, and he and Larson, and that whole cabal is responsible for the Satanic Panic.
Yeah.
The original Satanic. And but he's so hyperbolic and vitriolic in his...
for sure.
In his hate.
Now, there was one...
Is he that former cop? Is he that former cop that made a law enforcement's guide to Satanic?
No.
What's his name?
Jack Chick.
Because that is a funny video.
The cop? I don't know what the cop's name is. But there is at least 2 chick tracts that ended up being so bad that they don't actually have them on the website anymore. And we're getting a bit of echo from you, Beth, somehow.
Might be able to get it on eBay or something.
There are people that have them, but the reason they're so bad. So if you ever heard of the Bible Reloaded guys, they read these chick tracts sarcastically, often with guests reading some of the parts, but they've tackled both of the ones that were so horrible that the chick website won't even sell them anymore. And one of them was the child molester who finds Jesus, and it changes him so that he can be a good stepfather and not diddle his stepdaughter anymore, and then she can forgive him and everything will be perfect. I'm like, fuck you.
I will never have to work. Now, when it comes to stuff like that, I understand that it has happened when a child has actually forgiven his
but that's their...
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as a parent, I will never have to ever utter out of my mouth, I will never fuck you again. You know what I mean? Sorry. Or enter whatever, thing they did, right? I promise I'll never do that again. This time I mean it, Bobby. These, you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's the whole thing when they go, well, God forgave me.
Yeah. By the way, okay. Well, first off, as far as your use in this case, dude, context means everything. Totally in the right on this one.
Yeah.
Don't
No,
worry about it. Seriously, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
that's fine.
That's the whole thing, you know, is
Yeah.
when they put out propaganda like this, right? And then they get well, they're not judging you, of course, right?
Yeah.
We all know that they're not judging,
of course,
right?
Bullshit.
It's God who's just warning us because He did give us free will to love Him or die, but so they're just spreading the message, right? But if you say literally anything, right, that doesn't agree with them, or you just call it bullshit like it is, right, you're persecuting them because they have freedom of fucking religion, right?
Yep.
And First Amendment, you know?
Yeah.
Freedom of religion. And nowhere in the fight, and I'm not trying to be a constitutionalist or nothing like that, you know, but there is nowhere in the fucking Constitution where it says freedom of religion. You know what I mean? It just literally doesn't fucking say that, right? But they'll keep saying it's in the Constitution. Read the Constitution. Well, yeah, okay, go ahead and read it. It's not there, you know. Well, you have to understand what it says, you know.
Yeah.
Well, that gets into the whole mess of Christian revisionism, you know, as far as David Barton, you know.
Yeah.
But I think what's atrocious going, you know, the whole freedom of religion aspect of it is I work in food service. I have pretty much my entire life. I've done it. I've been working in restaurants since I was 10. I'm now in my mid 50s. And I've done both front of the house and back of the house. I've been a cook. I've been a prep cook, a dishwasher, yada, yada, yada. And I've done waitressing, hostessing, busboy, whatever. And it's when they leave these tracks as tips.
Yeah, the ones that look like money.
Well, then you get into the ones that look like money. And it was, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. A couple, I think it was a party of 6 total. They left that as a tip for their waitress, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And you're talking on a party of 6, minimum $60 bill. So you're talking
$60 for 6.
Well, minimum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
You're talking, you know, at minimum, if you go on the low end, some people will go this low, 6%. You're talking a $6 tip. Okay. Standard would be about $12 to $15. So you're talking this waitress busted her butt.
Put up with your kid.
For nothing.
Yeah.
Because that's basically, and if I remember correctly, the owner actually contacted the church and said, what gives? Your parishioners are handing out these tracts as tips. And I guess I don't remember the exact story, but I believe in this one, the church actually apologized and made good on the tip. And, you know, told their parishioners to no longer give them as part of a tip, but don't give them as a tip, because they'll put, like, some of our are made out to look like $20 bills
or $1,000 bills.
Well,
yeah, as a waitress or a waiter, you see your tip, and if it's a measly $2 or $3, it's, you get kind of disappointed. But when you bust your ass and you see a nice tip, $25, $30, you're like, yeah, sweet. You know, people forget, and when, you know, not getting into the whole minimum wage issue for serving staff, when you're getting $2 and this stupid ass track that asks you, are you going to hell? You're like, it's no wonder that the turnover is so high in relatively, you know, well, we'll say in Buffalo, where I'm originally from. I mean, here where I'm live now, I mean, people don't even tip. So, but Yeah.
Oh, they do here. Oh man, you tip.
I live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But in a bigger city like Pittsburgh and Philly and Buffalo and stuff like that, you know, these kids, and a lot of them are kids, although I know people that have been, you know, wait staff for 50 damn years. But they rely on, you know, that income. And when you get squat, I'm sorry, asking me whether I'm going to hell or not.
Yeah.
Not a freak.
It's one thing, you know, if they short tip you, you know, man, they should have given me more, you know. And then as they walk out the door, you can go, bastard, right? I hate your kid or something like that, right? That sucks when they short tip you, like, because where I live, God, you tip literally everybody. A common question is, how much we tip? You know, I think, but I almost have to tell you not to, but because it's just that way out here. But that's still better than dealing with a family for most likely 45 minutes to an hour, right? I'm sure they demanded things, you know, they wanted extra this or they needed this or something like that. And then when they leave you a
tract.
Yeah.
I just found something interesting on the Chick Tract website. Tips on how to
those things out at Halloween.
Yes. It has a whole section on that. But this is how to witness while shopping. So it says there are endless ideas for tract uses while shopping. Here are some of the most popular ideas. Hand a tract to the cashier. Leave tracts on the shelves in stores. I think somebody's been to Best Buy lately.
Yeah.
Place tracts in the dressing rooms. Place a tract in the pocket of the clothes that are for sale. Hand tracts to the passengers on elevators. Leave a tract next to the handrail on the escalator. And place a tract under the windshield wiper on the cars in the parking lot.
Okay.
All right. Look, you start putting stuff on parking lot, on windows in this area, someone will be shot. I'm not kidding, because around here, you know, it's very condensely populated, right? People around here are angry, right? You know, things get stolen all the time. You know, just it's a horrible area to live in. No, but I love it. But you don't touch somebody's shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not one of those stand your ground states or nothing like that. But you don't fuck with somebody. You know, you don't mess with somebody's stuff, right? You don't touch their stuff because it's not yours. Leave it alone, right? No. When you start putting stuff on doors and windows around here, even on a car, stuff will happen.
Yeah, two things real quick. No worries. The first thing is the first rule of my house. Something I taught Tiny Tribble from the earliest, quite literally. Rule number 1 is if it's not yours, you leave it alone.
Exactly.
Literally, yeah. That is like the very first rule that I made sure that I taught him from the very earliest. And every once in a while, I've actually literally said, "What's rule number 1? If it's not yours, you leave it alone." Right. What's rule number 2? Always tell you the truth. All right, fine, good. After that, we figure everything else out. Now, here's the deal. Here's the thing that pisses me off. And some people are going to follow me on this one. Some people are probably going to need a little bit of push over the edge on this one. And see what you think about this. The instructions that you had over there, Heretic Woman, tell me, is this or is this not basically emotional booby traps?
Oh yeah, totally. Totally.
Yeah.
And I was just gonna say I've clicked now on the expanded list, which is under how to witness while on vacation. And the first list is give tracts to waitresses, cashiers, flight attendants, cab drivers, local employees, gas station workers, truck drivers, and fast food employees. So there's your other half with the fake tips coming out. Although here it's chick tracks, but yeah.
Well, what's really bizarre about this, we're primarily dealing with, those with religious overtones, is anti-vaxxers have adopted this tactic. Yeah. And what they're doing is taking these anti-vax tracks and inserting them into Pampers diapers. In other words, breaking the seal. Okay, to put tracks in the diapers, and they have no qualms about it. They think so you take that mentality and apply it to those with the religious overtones. Ignore the waitress and handing them out to cashiers and stuff. I'm sorry, but if I pick up a product that's been tampered with, I'm not going to touch that product again.
Yeah. Yep.
And
they have.
I'm sorry.
They'll do this, and they'll destroy businesses just to make their point.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's actually horrible, because on top of everything else, for something like that, and that's a new one by me, by the way. I've not heard of this one before, so I get to go looking into that one a little bit. That's the biggest problem with this is going back to the title of the whole damn thing, it's the entitlement factor, where we are allowed to do this because why exactly?
Listen to the rest of this. So it's also saying leave them at gas stations and restrooms and a rest area in restaurants on ATM machines. If you're at a motel, leave it on the dresser for the maid. Put it, and I like this, put it in the Gideon Bible.
Oh yeah, that's
when I worked at the gas station, every day there'd be one. I was responsible for closing to clean the restrooms. And every day I would find a track.
Oh yeah. It's saying leave it on the ice machine.
In the toilet.
Yeah. Leave it on the ice machine, at payphones, on newspaper racks. If you're on a plane, put it in the plane seat pocket in the magazine. Leave it in the plane bathroom. Leave it in the terminal, the lounge, the waiting area, the luggage pickup, on the meal tray. And even has a list if you're camping. Leave it on the picnic table, in the laundromat, in the supply store, and
leave it out for the bears at night.
Yeah.
So what this boils down to is this is a direct endorsement for littering.
I was just going to say, this is litter all over the bloody place. Like leaving trash, literal trash, every freaking place they go.
God's compelling them and commanding them to do it.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Okay, so it's not littering, okay? Let's get that straight.
No.
I'm being sarcastic.
I know. Sorry, Mike.
Okay. But yeah, and when you say stuff like that's, I've told others, hey, get that away from me, man. That, and well, you can't blame them because they have to believe in something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I always hear that, at least they believe in something. And it's like
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that I believe that a Bic lighter will take care of these things for us most of the time. Just saying.
Well, our friend Jazz, who you may know from Facebook, who and unfortunately she is living in a homeless shelter right now. She's okay. She's okay as okay you can be when you're homeless, but She mentions that she finds them in the shelter constantly. And she says, I make sure I do my duty and see to it that they make it to the trash every time.
Well, good for her, you know?
Yeah.
But this is, I just also found on that on that site, there's PO boxes for all of the tract authors on that page. So they appear to be asking for feedback. I don't know. It kind of looks that way to me.
Yeah, I think the only feedback that I'd like to offer up is the ones that have got to do with child molestation. Can we order those in? Can we get a Patreon goal and order a bunch of those and send them to local, Catholic dioceses? I'm just kind of wondering how that would go over here.
Ooh, it's unfortunately that one's not available anymore. But
damn it, I got these great ideas.
I know.
I can't.
I think
start one of those starter pages and start a petition, right, to get a reprint, or because they, books have been, they've had reprints of books. Start a campaign to get that a reprint of that, and
the idea of them hooking up with an atheist group for that to have happened. Does the expression snowball ring a bell to you?
Well, like Ted DiBiase always said, everybody's got their price. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, he did.
I think that was Barnum, but that's a whole other thing.
Sucker born every minute.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole other thing. There's a sucker born every minute. Some people know that one. So
Phyllis said, in terms of the diaper packages, if the package is tampered with, turn it over to law enforcement.
That is a consideration. Most people would probably just return it back to the place of purchase to get a proper one. And
that actually has been done. I don't know the outcome. This started about 3-4 years ago, so the timing of tracking it was really sucky for me.
What was this? About diapers?
When the anti-vax started putting it in products, but they started doing it, or it came to my attention anyways, about 3-4 years ago. And if people follow me at all, that was a really, really bad time for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know the outcome of it, and I've had to take a step back from the anti-vax community because I discovered they're just as nutty as religionists. And with two nutballs was a little overwhelming for me, although I'm slowly getting back into it. But whether there's actual package tampering, I don't know. But the fact that they're doing this, they're actually going to pharmacies, and people that are getting like the flu shots at the pharmacies, they're harassing, for lack of a better word. They're harassing customers. They're making scenes at pharmacies when they're picking up certain medications. So the tactics are very similar to what the Chick Tract specifically endorse. And the crossover between the two is not accidental. It's actually they see the tactics working for this crowd, so they're starting to adopt these tactics. We're seeing the same thing with the anti-LGBT issues. A lot of the tactics used by the anti-abortionists are now being transferred over. So there's a lot of crossover, but I just find it funny because, like with Jack Trick, as I said, this really took off in the 70s, and it's like 40 years later, and we're still dealing. And it's not just Chick Tract, but those are what most people are familiar with. Jehovah Witnesses do it with their watchtowers. They'll leave the little awake magazines around.
Remember Beth? Remember Ohio Hotel? The breakfast room. When we went to Nashville in March, we stayed. Was that in Akron? I think that was in Akron.
I think it was in Akron, yeah.
Yeah, we stopped at a hotel. I forget which hotel it was in Akron, and the breakfast room at the back there was like a magazine rack and a lot of they'll have flyers for various brochures. Yeah, there was like a whole row of Jehovah Witness Awake tracts back there.
Well, I know I don't remember which hotel chain, so I don't want to spout one off. But
yeah, I don't either.
Is now putting alongside the Gideon Bible, they are now putting the Book of Mormon.
Oh, that's Marriott. That's Marriott.
Okay, well, why wouldn't they?
Well, Marriott is owned by a wealthy Mormon family.
So, that I did not know.
Okay. Yes. So that's why I the two out of the 3 books of Mormon I have come from hotels, and I've sent the one I sent to Morgan was from a hotel in Morganville, West Virginia, which I thought was hilarious.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah, there you go. We stopped there 2 summers ago.
Yeah. Now I want to make sure that I kind of put it out there and make sure everybody understands. Hotels are a privately owned company, organization. So if they want to go ahead and put any religious texts whatsoever in their rooms, they are, as far as we are concerned, completely, perfectly fine for them to go ahead and do it. Perfectly legal.
Just make sure you have that same amount of porn available.
Well. However, that doesn't mean we won't mock and ridicule the shit out of you guys for doing it because you're assholes for it. But
or some of us might point the way to Ezekiel 23:20 in every Bible she finds.
Oh God, donkey jizz! You're just. Oh my God, you're
everyone. Well, see, because the Gideons at the beginning, they have that list of, if you're sad, read this verse. If you're lonely, read this verse. And I just, for a good time, read Ezekiel 23:20.
See, you're getting on my case about the whole donkey sex thing, and here it is again. So
yeah,
I don't know what your problem is, Lobby.
Yeah, but donkey jism, that's a. I remember there's that other one too about covering your excrement when you poop or something.
Oh yeah,
I got a whole bunch of memes, right, that I used for years on my old laptop. I should Bible verses that are just really,
freakazoid. I should find the poop one and start adding that as well.
I could try. I might try to find a couple of mice to run on the treadmill to get my old laptop started. And I can send you some of those.
Awesome.
I got this one of this little baby going like that. And it says, "Are you washed in the blood of Jesus?" Do you know how insane that sounds?
Yeah.
But
no.
Yeah.
No. The only person that I know of that I've ever seen be washed in the blood of Jesus was Lucy when she fell down in that goddamn vat.
Well, they got
what the hell are they thinking? But that's a whole...
They just had that ceremony somewhere, right? That blood festival. They were showing it.
Oh, that's
these people are like beating the shit out of fucking animals and stuff because God likes it like that.
That's Islam.
And then there's this picture of this guy, and it was on regular fucking, not alternative sites and stuff, and it shows this picture of this guy. He looks like he got out of a cage match after Hell in a Cell, right? Bloodied all over the place. And he's holding this little kid who's got animal blood spread all over him, and they're happy, And hundreds of people were sent to the hospital because of this,
Yeah.
And, when you have religious ceremonies, right, every year in countries, right, where people get injured and hospitals are filled up with injured people from a religious ceremony, there might be a fucking problem here. You know what I mean? psychologically, of course. But yeah, and that's how they. I don't know. I just find it weird.
And you're right on the money. Now, getting back onto specifically back on the topic of it all, there are options for buying, as Heretic Woman pointed out, there are options for buying these damn things, and we will link you to the website so you guys can take a look this stuff over. We are not advocating purchasing anything. Just want you to know, we don't care if you do, if you don't. We're not going to say one way or the other. We're giving it so that you guys can look at. No, because it doesn't matter to us.
Yeah.
But I want you guys to think about two things about this all, because we're going to discuss the second one. The first one is this group, this organization, this company makes a pretty penny off of however much people spend on these little pieces of throwaway print up stuff, because people will get rid of them and then have to come back for more because they think that they need to, they think that they want to, or they actually want to because it gives them that little mental high when they give it out. So they need to go ahead and get a little bit more of that juice in their head. Item 2, the people who are on downstream from this, who pay the pretty penny, who get the little happy juice in their head because they think that they're doing a good job, again, feel it necessary to break laws, if not necessarily legal laws, but decency laws of how to operate in a society, how not to behave properly, how to basically be, well, as Mr. Wheaton would put it, to be a dick. And yet, they don't care. Or more appropriately, they don't care enough not to. And
Fishers, that's what I call fishers of men defense, you know?
Come again?
Fishers of men defense.
Okay, you said it twice now, and that doesn't explain what. Explain
God
me what
command, you know, when you say that, well, God commands us to be fishers of men, right?
Okay.
And so this is their, you know, God's telling them to go, not litter. Of course, they're not littering, you know, but when you say, you know, they'll say, oh, I gave out 500 of these, right? You should ask them, okay, how many of these did you physically hand one to, right? And how many did you throw on a park bench or on a table?
Well, if you read that thing, you're supposed to leave one in every bloody bathroom you ever come in contact with.
Yeah.
Like every bathroom should have a chick track in it, according to that.
Going back to a point that Shu made is the downstream money. I mean, if you really think about it, if you were to follow all the suggestions of where to leave them, okay, you're talking in a day, you could put out maybe 500 of them if you leave 2 or 3 at each spot. Okay, so you multiply that at 3 cents per, just off of one person, you're talking 15, you know, about $15
a day.
A day. You multiply that by a minimum 100 people per day.
Someone's eating steak.
That's like that's like costs as much as a moderate smoking habit.
Yeah, I mean they're pulling some big bucks, and I'm not averse to the, you know, these nonprofit organizations making money, you know, legitimately for legitimate reasons. But when you have something like the Billy Graham Association, which is now run by Franklin Graham, because Billy Graham is been dead for a couple of years, and I'm sorry, but Franklin Graham is a Christian nationalist and an elitist in the sense that only his brand of Christianity should be taught, okay, nationwide to every believer and non-believer, and by some of his words, at gunpoint if necessary. Okay, you're talking. This is an organization who, before Mitt Romney won the election nod for the Republicans initially against Barack Obama, Mormonism was considered a cult. The day he won the nomination, oh, they're the greatest people on the face of the earth. I believe now it is back to being a cult. Okay, so
probably
they will change their stance accordingly to what's going to bring them the most bucks. These are the people that went to Haiti with electronic Bibles. Okay, Haiti after the a hurricane or
it doesn't matter. Natural disaster.
Yeah,
it was a natural disaster. They went there, distributed electronic Bibles in Haiti.
When no one has
electric.
But when they do get electricity, they'll be the first ones on their block to be able to read the Bible, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's their idea of helping in a natural disaster is proselytizing. So, yes, back in the 80s when I was still a believer, very good one at that, I used to love Billy Graham. I actually went and saw him 3 times. Yeah, I went to 3 crusades. Don't ask me why. Yeah, I mean, Billy Graham was a very dynamic speaker. His son, not so much, and his daughter.
His daughter, man, she's a real.
And Lutz. I mean, she's as nutty as the son. Okay, but they're pulling in probably in a week. Okay, this is the bare minimum, just off the top of my head, probably $10,000 just on the tracks that Stu showed at the beginning of the show. Okay.
So what have you got there, Chu? Oh, you're going to see how you order?
Oh, more importantly, I just took a look over because they
have an email.
Well, here's the thing. I was looking at the. Let me back this up a second so everybody can see where I was. I was at the.
Of course, they'll ship to Afghanistan to give them to our troops.
You're leading the bit here, man.
Sorry.
Right, let me back this up. Okay, so I was coming over here to see, how do you order, and I saw that they had this pull down for select your country. And I'm thinking, okay, that's a little on the weird side. Of course, the United States is the first item. All right, no surprise there. But the very first after that is Afghanistan. What do we know about Afghanistan and Christian proselytization?
Isn't it like illegal or something?
Oh, but it's done. God, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Ew, their address is Ontario, California.
Yeah,
I know.
Take that name away.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Going through the rest of it all, Afghanistan, of course, it would appear that they've got pretty much every country that you would otherwise expect if you were going to be ordering something for, anywhere. But what were some of the places that we would think of where this would probably not go over really well?
Saudi Barbaria.
Well, let's start off over here with Bangladesh. Problems with folks in Bangladesh? Yeah. Apparently, you can order them if you're in Bangladesh. So let's see. Let's go a little bit further. Cambodia. Look at that. Cambodia is not a great place. You can also order it, and they'll happily take your money. Let's see. Let's see. The Czech Republic, Djibouti, Denmark. Yeah, like anybody's really going to. Denmark doesn't really exist. Come on. Let's see. Where is?
Oh, that is so nationalist. I mean, really. I mean,
yeah.
It's one thing to make fun of the Belgians, but then, oh God, sorry.
Gabon, Gambia.
The
Republic of Georgia. Ghana.
Yeah, Ghana. Iran.
Iran's on here. According to them, you can also
Let's see.
Wait a minute. We are not able to ship to Iran.
Ooh.
Oh. That's interesting. All right, let's see.
So why the hell is it on the list?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'll tell you why. Because they don't flying patootie about what the laws of the nation are. They know for a fact in some of these countries it is illegal according to that country's law to proselytize for Christianity. So when a missionary goes into that country and gets himself properly arrested for proselytizing, oh, we're being persecuted. No, you broke the freaking law of that country.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
it's legal in the U.S., but it is not legal in that XYZ country. So don't cry me no tears. You broke the law. You know you broke the law.
Yeah,
and
you knew what was going to happen.
Yes, you knew it was going to happen eventually, and now you want special privileges, and you want the government of our country, or Canada in this case,
to save your ass.
To save your ass. No, you got. That's why, if you remember the Abedini, he was proselytizing. He wasn't over there he was proselytizing and was arrested. Abedini was about 3
okay.
ago. Okay. You know, it's crazy. I mean, and that's the thing with these tracts. Oh, yes, they are littering and they know they are littering, but oh, we're special. It's the whole Kim Davis attitude.
Because somehow, somewhat along the way, we'll get that message. It doesn't matter if it's the garbage man that finally picks it up, who finds the love of Jesus Christ standing in the back of a trash truck at 4:30 in the morning, or that waitress walking to her car.
Yep. All right. So,
broke single mom.
So, who wants to take bets one way or the other on Saudi Arabia? Now that I've got it selected,
we can't ship to Saudi Arabia.
Did you already look it up?
No. I'm guessing if they won't ship to Iran, they won't ship to Saudi Barbaria.
Okay. Any other bets from anybody? Peanut gallery?
Well, considering we just left the UN Human Rights Council, I doubt there'll be any going Saudi. But you never know.
And Lobstah? What do you think? Can do, cannot do? You got a 50-50 on this one, man.
No, I don't think they'd really. I think in the end, when you tried, even if you could fill out an order form, I think in the end it'll tell you that they don't ship there.
Well, let's see what they say. Survey says.
They have
order.
Oh, it will ship to Saudi Barbaria. Wow.
Dang. What about Jordan? What about a country like Jordan?
Oh, Jordan. That's another good. And Yemen.
All right. Jordan. Here we go. I'm gonna say yes. Let's.
Yeah.
I'll say yes.
Yep. And Yemen was the other one that. Yemen. Look at that. Yemen says yes.
Yes. Wow.
Oh, what about United Arab Emirates?
Oh, that's another good one.
That is a good one. Let's see.
Or Dubai.
I'm all the way in the U's. Don't even. United Arab Emirates. Survey says
yes. Yes.
Yep.
Wow.
And Dubai. All right, we'll do one more because there's
one.
I'm
sure they will. They'll do it to Dubai then.
I wonder what they package.
Who's gonna pick the mail up though? You know
wait a minute. Dubai is not listed.
Ah.
That is so nationalist and racist.
But wait a minute, is Dubai is Dubai part of the
it's not a country.
No, it's just a city in the UAE. So my bad.
Okay.
I'm curious as to what they ship these as. Do they ship them as chick tract, labeled as such, or do they ship them as tiles?
That's a very good question.
Because that's how Hobby Lobby, for their little Bible museum, got some of the artifacts they had to send back.
I was going to go looking for North Korea, but I found the jackpot.
Vatican City.
Okay. Vatican City, I'm going to say yes. No. What do you guys?
I'll say no.
I'm going with Lobstah on this one.
Because that's more of a closed.
Because Chick is anti-Catholic.
Yeah, and Heretic Woman?
She said she'd be right back. I think she's peeing.
Of course she did. Bitch. Okay, so just for the fun of it, Vatican City. Can you ship there? Yes, you can.
Oh my God! There's hope for the Pope yet. Oh my God!
That's really strange because Chick Tract is very anti-Catholic, and the Catholic Church out of Vatican City has criticized them. So
Yeah.
I bet you they do not ship these as Chick Tracts. I bet you they.
Yeah, and you don't know who picks up the mail, and you know, things from different areas, you know, probably get looked at differently, you know, because this is, you know,
in Bangladesh to order some and see shipped.
Okay, so let's backtrack a second. Let's leave aside the question of can you get it?
Yeah.
The question of should you get it? And just like was said, if you go out proselytizing to these countries, these areas where it is not only ill-advised but illegal,
right?
In some cases, literally a death sentence illegal. Saudi Arabia, we're looking at you in particular. Yeah, there are those people, like I was talking about earlier, they'll get the happy juice in the brain from doing what they think that they're supposed to do, and the higher the fear factor involved, the bigger the bigger the score, the bigger the
we
hit.
know it's dangerous work being a missionary, you know. I mean, and it's like, well, no, it's not, well, yeah, sure, it's dangerous. It's also stupid. You know, I mean, when they go over there, they go, oh, this Christian guy, he got arrested for, you know, for preaching about Jesus, right? Well, like you said, it's against the law there, right? Yeah. Are the laws different here? Yeah, they are. But you're not in this country. That was the first thing they taught us when I went overseas to Germany in 1978, right? Before we left Charleston, South Carolina at the airport and arrived in Germany, before leaving and upon arriving in Germany, they will tell you, you are not in the United States of America anymore. The laws are different in some circumstances. There's things you cannot do here, right? And most people can accept that. Yeah, I'm in a different country, right? But a lot of people, Americans especially, love to throw that American chest out.
The exceptionalism.
Yeah, you know, well, we're American, right? Or, you know, God commands me to do it, you know, so sure, it's dangerous, but God said it would be dangerous, you know. Being persecuted for your religion is like martyrdom, you know.
No, it's no, hold on a second. It's not like that. Is exactly what it is, because we've talked about that on many an occasion. That, you know, if you don't have that I'm being prosecuted part, what the hell are you fighting against everybody instead of trying to work with them for? If you don't have that sense of I'm the downtrodden, even if I do make up, you know, 70% of the population, you know, you've got FA. You got basically sweet FA otherwise.
Well, when something happens, like there's a murder in a city or there's a big rally, right? And all of a sudden you get all the pastors from all over the city, from all denominations and all faiths get together for one prayer meeting. They're standing there and they're praying in however they pray and stuff like that. And they're holding hands and shaking and having some coffee and 2 glasses of wine. On Sunday, the next Sunday, and the previous Sunday, I'm sure, those same people, even on the next Sunday, they're still going to hell because they don't believe like you. You know what I mean? But at least they believe in something. You know? It's all a con game. Some people know it is. Some people are just too stupid to understand.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts a lot. And I don't say that lightly. I was branded years ago as DJ Cynic. By the way, for those of you that don't know, if you go to be a DJ, you don't name yourself the same way that you don't give yourself your call sign as a flyboy. Other people give it to you. Right. Ask me about my youngest brother's call sign someday. You get a kick out of that one. It's a whole other thing. Anyway, by the way, Heretic Woman. Yes. Just I did pull up Vatican City.
Yes, I heard. My earphones reached that far.
Oh, good. Yeah, so you got that. So the piece I was trying to say is that it hurts because the people who think that that exceptionalism is the end all be all, and all they need to do in order to get out of whatever legal problem they've got somewhere else is to just speak louder and slower, so people who don't know American can understand them, right?
Yeah.
You
I
people
think they have that course on Rosetta Stone, actually.
Yeah, well, that's Klingon. That's Callie Wright. That's a whole other thing.
Speak American louder.
Yeah, it's but you people who do that, you make the rest of my countrymen look bad. You really do, and you really need to understand that. And last item, real quick, and then I'll throw it over to you. The people who think that their exceptionalism in their chosen, I'm using the expression loosely here for a second, their chosen religious leanings. I know. In a lot of cases, you're not exactly choosing it because it was chosen for you. Whatever. Give me a break on this one for a minute. How is it that you don't understand that you don't want people going ahead and telling you that you're wrong, but yet you think it's okay for you to go ahead and tell other people that they will experience the worst barbecue that has ever been, that could ever be even conceived, because you have no idea what a 4th degree burn is for anything at all? You don't know what a 4th degree burn is? Look it up, but turn off image search. That's as far as I'll go with that one. All yours.
Well, I think what drives me batty, if I can be driven batty, is that they'll plead, oh, I'm being persecuted, oh, they're mistreating me in XYZ country, but we're going to throw you, meaning me specifically, off a building because you're fucking gay. Excuse my language.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, I mean, I've actually had people tell me, okay, in fact, this was an issue at my last job. I have no right to work because I'm near children. We know where that's going. We're dealing with it now with the Catholic Church. Okay.
I was going to say, you don't wear a collar to your job.
Yeah, well, at least I'm not normal.
Oh, shit, Heretic, there's somebody behind you. Look, quick.
It's all right. He's going to bed.
It's all right. Sometimes, we got to deal with pussy on her camera. It's just the way that it is. We understand it. It's one of those things we accept.
Oh, I just thought she had a stalker or something. I was just
all right. So we've had ass. We've had asses with semen. Now we've got Heretic Woman's pussy. I don't know what else we're going to have to deal with tonight.
Till we go anal, man.
Well, I was before I was interrupted by my pussy friend there. I was showing this little gem here I mentioned earlier, printmytract.com, which comes from these. I accidentally closed the site that I had open. It comes from one of
28 tabs.
Yeah, well. These people that I showed you the tract for at the beginning of the show, it's called Moments with the Book. Is the group. Looks like they're
that sounds more like a greatest hits, kind of thing.
I know, So there we go. Moments with the Book. And I guess this is a website that they run, printmytract.com. But look at this. I want to design and print my own custom tract.
Now, I wonder what the guidelines are for that. Does it have to be?
I was gonna say, I'm thinking they wouldn't print anything that any of us would submit.
But I wonder if somehow you could get one.
Well,
snuck through by making a message, and so they may not. You don't understand what I'm saying?
A double entendre. Yeah. If it was written intelligently enough, you might be able to squeak something through.
Throw the words "lake of fire" and "burn in hell," and I'm sure somewhere along the line, and they probably got a word search. And
yeah, I'm sure the burning thing has got something to do with syphilis. Beth, I'm gonna get you 1 second, but I think the closest thing to an anti-chick track was the activity book that the Satanic Temple put out a while ago.
Oh, yes.
Beth, all yours now. Go ahead. You've been very patient and waiting. Thank you.
Well, I was just thinking, going along the line of printing our own, but people, most theists that I debate, think atheism is a religion. So if we're a religion, we should be able to print a religious tract.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if they said then, well, no. Well, you're being discriminatory against the religion. Oh, we have special privileges. We could just turn it around on them. Although it'd take probably a lot of work, but it'd be an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I just looked it up, and the Satanic Children's Big Book of Activities. You guys can take a look at this. I will make sure the links are in there so you guys can check it out. It's still available, and it's $5. I have an electronic version of it, and it is certainly worth it.
Have you ever gone on Amazon and checked out the Dancing Jesus coloring book?
No.
Can't say that.
My wife's got a whole bunch of things she keeps wanting to get me, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe, and eventually one day it'll show up. But yeah, you can get all sorts of like Dancing Jesus coloring books, and the I don't know how Amazon gets away with selling some of their stuff, but there's some really cool fucking shit.
Well, they sell a lot of things that we really shouldn't talk about tonight.
Probably.
Not until we do the Power of 10 episode, but that's a whole thing for later.
So, I got nun bowling kit a few years ago. It's a bowling game with these bowling pins that look like nuns, and it has a little marble that's red. It's called the Fireball of Hell. You know.
Anyway. This place. So if you want 100 of 4-panel standard tracts with up to 800 words on glossy paper, you can get 100 of them for $32.34 American.
So that's $3.20.
Well, no, it says 0.323 each.
So that's how many for 100?
$32.34 for 100. So yeah, I guess you're right. It's like
okay. So of course we want 4 boxes. How much is that?
I don't know. It just says
you're kind of going around.
I suck at math. So it just says, this is your 4-panel standard tracts, which hold up to 800 words. They're printed on gloss text paper and are folded to a final size of 3.5 inches by 5.5 inches.
Whoa, hold on. Hold that thought 1 second, because what you're describing, that sounds very suspiciously like the one that I've got over here.
Well, except it's
kind of what? Wait a minute. Glossy paper.
Panels.
Oh,
4 panels.
Okay, no, there. It does have words on one side and pictures on the other.
It's a booklet, though.
I crossed it. That means it's for Jesus. Sorry.
Well,
so wait a minute now. We've got, that's the 4-page. Then we've got 6-page, 8-page, 6-page flyer, 8-page flyer, postcard, mini card, and calendar card.
Can you get ones made like Christmas cards? Because Christmas is
Probably.
coming up,
What? How many pages does that thing have?
I'm trying to figure out how you'd actually figure it, as opposed to like front and back is 2 pages or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm guessing 8.
Okay, so 8. An 8 panel, if you want 100, or an 8 page one, if you want 100, is $53.90.
So that's 53 cents a piece.
Yeah.
So if you sold them in groups of, let's say groups of 25, and you said Beth, that roughly 50 cents a piece, give or take.
Yeah.
Print. Okay. So if you sold it 25 groups, groups of 25 at $25, because $1 per, and we'll cover shipping for you, you're still making out not bad at all,
Well, they're making about, if you go by the standard 1/3, 2/3, they're making about 16 cents per profit.
Yeah, and
when I
times how many they actually make too, which is...
when I used to make flyers for the SPCA, and this is just on a home setup, nothing special, printer, it would cost me at the time, this was about 10 years ago, 3 cents per flyer.
Right.
Okay, and I used to do trifold, so it'd be one standard sheet of paper trifolded, so but it would have text lined up on all 6 panels. So they're making a pretty good profit. They're making $16 profit off every 100. So like you said, if they're selling it to 1,000 people,
yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what?
Now the custom tract is a flat fee of $59. It doesn't. I'm guessing it just says, like, here, I'll show you. It just shows the style.
That looks more professional.
Yeah. And it looks like it's a pamphlet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't tell you how many you get for that. It just says
4 pages, 6 pages. Example of standard tracks. Yeah, you're right. Doesn't, but even so, I would expect 100 or 100 plus.
Yes.
Okay, so let's. All right, before we finally close out of that whole piece, and really tackle with the last little bit that we got, when when CompUSA was going out of business, and I know some people are going, holy shit, really? Yeah, really. I bought a bunch of for real Canon paper to go along with one for real, really good Canon printer over here. For anybody that wants to know, it's the Pixma 6700D, I think it's what it is. Anyway, bottom line is, I'm wondering, I've got, let's see, this is a group of 4x6, 50 sheets. I have 4 of them underneath my printer. Name brand version, I should say. If we were to design our own cards and make them 2x6 and print it off 2 at a time and clip them in half to leave places.
You mean like this? The postcard style?
Something like that, but smaller.
Business card.
Oh, wait, we have the mini card. This is their...
Oh, yeah, those are the ones you can just stick in your wallet and read whatever time during your leisure time,
Yeah.
When you're feeling sad.
Well, funny you should say that, because I've also got I've got stickers. I've always
stickers.
Yeah, I've got I've also got Dr. Hooves, but that's a whole other thing. That's another thing entirely.
Oh, we all
don't ask me about that one. You didn't see that. Dalan, edit that one for me, would you? I've got.
Oh, by the way, Stephanie says that the price might be the charge for typesetting.
Okay, there's that. But I did also get the photo paper turn this on credit card sizes, so
Ooh.
I can one off those like crazy. Although to be fair, these are the really good photo paper ones. I do have the sheets where you can do like a crap ton of business card ones all at once, but they're just regular paper. I mean, they're super cheap. Ooh, super cheap. That sounds like a really good idea. I mean, we could, and I'm going to get away with saying this because context is everything. We could be absolute dicks about it and print our own and say, how are you feeling today? Are you feeling like this? Check your Bible and specifically stick these in Bibles and point them to things like, are you feeling lonely tonight? Ezekiel might actually have something for you.
Yes.
Well, and that brings up the whole notion of the morality issue. And this is the thing. I mean, I've heard other ideas, not specifically something like this, where, just talking in general to other, well, if I did this, I could make a boatload of money, but morals tell me not to, because that's really not I mean, that's the whole thing. We don't do it because it's atrocious. I mean, It's like you said, okay, you're very simplistic saying you're littering, but in the long game of it, it's really not good. Just printing these stupid pieces of paper that are basically 99.9% of the time are going to end up in the trash.
Or worse, not.
Yes.
Yeah, worse. I mean, it's the whole notion of just being a good person, not doing. I mean, I could have very easily gone into ministry.
Yeah, and
I didn't.
Yeah,
because even back then I was already starting to question things, but I could have gone in and made money off of it.
Yeah, and so that so that everybody is understanding where we are. The majority, I would think, this is opinion, I'm not stating this fact, I would expect that the majority of the people in the skeptical / atheist movement and visibility groups, if they were to simply throw morality out the window and said, I'm just going to go ahead and make an easy buck, they would fleece the religious, especially the Christian religious, like nobody's business, because we already know the con.
Yeah. Well, it's like I had a friend of mine, this was a couple years ago, I had done a piece basically debunking, for lack of a better word, Stephen L. Anderson. And because of my background from college and beyond, I basically wrote a flippin' sermon. My friend, who happens to be Christian, but a very liberal, why she's still Christian, I will never know. But she's like, my God, you could do sermons. I'm like, yep, I could, but I don't. She's like, why? And I'm like, because I'd be lying, and that's like, not
cool.
That kind of sounds like why I stopped selling cars.
Well, and it's just,
I couldn't lie to people and stuff and everything. I was like, that's how I got into selling cars.
It's like, people, it's snake oil salesmen, people that are into the woo with the goop, great egg up your vajayjay, oh, it's going to cure you. Or here, have a coffee enema. It's like, no, I don't do that because it's flipping wrong. What part of that don't you get? It's like, people, I don't need to be a Christian to know something is fucking wrong. Excuse my language again.
No, again, context, man.
I know.
Understandable.
I try.
Well, I'm fucking getting tired of all this damn fucking cursing, I mean, because fuck's sake, man, I try
so hard.
I know.
So hard.
Couple of points here. Stephanie is right. I found there's an FAQ, and one of the questions is how many printed tracks are included with the $59 design fee? None, because everyone's needs are different. We split the designing and printing of your tract into 2 steps, with each with their own economical pricing. Once your tract has been designed, you can order the perfect quantity for you. So there's no idea how many costs what for the custom.
And that's where they're going to get you cost twice.
Yeah, because of course you want those fancy ones, because those fancy ones will convince more people.
Yeah.
And there's glossy paper too, you know, I mean.
Oh, there's glossy paper.
Yeah, and before you go past that, don't forget, this one sounds like it's going to be roping people into the sunk cost fallacy, I think is what it is. You've invested enough to see what it looks like at first, so half your money is already gone. Well, of course you got to go ahead and do the rest, because I mean,
it's all upselling, you know.
And this wasn't part of that initially, but are other people allowed to order my tract? Yes, your tract will be added to our tract library and available for others to purchase. When they do, you will receive 5% of the value of their order. But
so you create it, but you only get 5%.
Yes. But before you start thinking, ooh, we could spread the quote gospel of reason and rationality, yeah, not so much. Well, then we get to what types of messages will you publish? While we don't maintain a strict list of subjects which are appropriate for the tracts we publish.
Bullshit.
All messages must adhere to our statement of faith.
Oh. Yep. Well, my personal faith, you know, Mary was a whore.
Yeah, funny enough, that one would actually get through them, I'm sure.
Probably, because I think these guys are anti-Catholic as well.
Yep.
But
if there's one thing we know about Catholicism, it's just like with all the other Italians. You go through mom.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. Wow, they've got a fairly lengthy statement of faith too. Blech.
So we've only got basically we've got about another 5 or 6 minutes or so before we have to really wrap this all together. So I think the biggest thing that I really want to finish with at this point is what Beth was saying, which kind of ties the whole damn thing together. We could do this whole thing. We could fight fire with fire, so to speak, and make our own thing, make our own publishing thing out of, you know, somebody's, well, I was going to say somebody's basement, but I don't live in my dad's or my mom's basement. We didn't have basements on Long Island. You have a basement on Long Island, it's called a swimming pool, because, you know, water.
Flood victim.
Yes.
Oh, don't even start with me. My basement's been flooded 2 damn minutes. Yeah. But the point of it is, we don't do this because we're not dicks about it.
Okay, now right there. Now I've been known to be a dick a few times in my life. You know, I mean, now by dick, I mean, it would be wrong if I would post something like little cards that said "God's not real, get over it."
Let me stop you there. Would you, on your own, print up little cards that you could hand off as a one-off to people to say God's not real and it's stupid to follow up on all that? And would you do? I'm actually asking. This is not a rhetorical. Is that something that you could see yourself doing as a one-off for, let's say, going to like an alt-right parade or something like that?
Oh, not an alt-right parade, no. But just, you know, when somebody wants to talk to me about Jesus, I just hand them this card.
Okay, so you basically understand where I'm going with those.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now.
No, I'm not extremist. Like you know, I mean.
No, I got you. Yeah. I got you. Now, where I'm going with this is, would you do this for a friend, maybe even a couple of friends, so that they could join with you and have it, for instance, if you're going to similar types of rallies and whatnot, or places where people had outside evangelicals, or maybe as a counter protest to people at like abortion clinics, for instance, as a one-off for some friends, could you see yourself doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you do it for money for people that you didn't even know?
No.
No.
Mm-mm. No.
As a
No.
business, would you do something like that?
No.
No.
Uh,
Well, if I could
Now-
make money by doing it, not in a dickish manner, I suppose.
But my point of it is, we're talking about an opinion piece. When all is said and done, just follow me a second on this one. And doing it for yourself, sure. Doing it for some friends where you know that you've kind of got a similar thing, okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
But when it starts becoming, will you take money from people that you don't know in order to do this? Suddenly it's squirmy. It's something that I maybe, but I mean, I wouldn't be looking to make a profit or nothing. You see where I'm going with this now.
Well, time is money. Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, there would have to be a plan that.
I think caveats would apply.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
I think caveats would apply. It would depend on what the ultimate goal is.
Yeah, what's the end game? What's the payoff?
Because,
I mean, I'm not going to join some group that I read about, send them money, or go to a fucking rally because they tell me I should go to this rally and act a certain way, right? Yeah. But if I can make money making fun of shit, fuck yeah, I'll do it. Nobody's going to get hurt, but, I don't know how I would do that, but, I mean, like I said, I have been a dick a few times, and some people think I'm a dick, but
and that's okay. I mean, there are certain people that we know, and I'm looking at you, Miss Ash. We know full well that their thing is to go ahead and go after some people that, in some cases, richly deserve it.
Yeah.
Well, I picture, when you say that, I picture Susie chasing the evangelicals picketing the strip club down the street.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah, I think the end game would really have to be taken into consideration. Oh, you mean objective? No, they're not. Situations apply. Even when, Deb knows, even in our crazy group, the one Facebook group that her and I are part of, I will not specifically go out of my way to bash religion. My primary reason for being in that group is to try to understand how theists think. And I'm not just specifically referring to Christians, but also Islam, also some Hindu groups in there. There's also some, there is one Buddhist. I want to know how they think because I want to understand. So I'm not going to go sit there and bash religion. Now, if one of those people came to my wall and started bashing my atheism, yeah, I might turn around and start bashing their religion. There's a difference. But I don't go in there to incite, people being disgruntled. Now, years ago, I would go into Christian chat rooms just to be an ass.
I may have done that a few times myself.
But when it comes to what a person believes individually, I don't give a shit. I don't even care if God exists or not. Okay? That's not why I'm an atheist. It's a moot question. So for me to preach atheism, as some people say I do. That's just not my shtick. My shtick is your willingness to ignore what the church, the whole church, not Catholicism, is doing to people of color, to the LGBT community, to
literally anybody that doesn't believe like them.
Yeah, who doesn't. You want special privileges. That's what I'm against. When I have walk down the street and have people tell me that I should be executed, I'm going to push back. So I think it would have to be, but have to be situational. But am I gonna preach atheism to make money? No, because I don't really give a.
How do you do that?
Yeah, exactly. How do you?
I'm practicing my atheism right now in this hangout because above where I'm watching this, I'm also watching college football, and tomorrow I'll be watching the NFL, and that's what I do on Saturday and Sunday. So when people talk about atheism, it's like, okay, all those things you guys do on the weekends and on Wednesday nights, I don't do that. You know what I mean? I don't go to church on Wednesday night. I don't go to Bible study during the week. I don't go to church on Sunday. I turn on the fucking football game or whatever the fuck else I'm doing. I mean, it's just something I do. But when you talk to religious people, see, they don't understand that when you're Christian looking at a religious person looking at atheists, right? And they go, well, they can't get out of that religious thinking that, well, if you don't believe in this God, then you have to literally worship to them something, right? Something has to be your ultimate authority, because without an ultimate authority, that somehow, I don't know, you're lost,
Yeah, literally the concept that you don't worship anything is completely alien, and it does not compute.
Yeah. Like when I've said, I in a debate group or something, and I'd be like, I worship nothing and no one. Oh, sure you do. You worship science. No, I actually, I don't. I don't like science actually, and I self-worship. Oh,
well, it's like when somebody says, well, if you believe in evolution and you believe XYZ, and then they get into some fucking physics and shit, and I'm like, look, dude, I have problems. Long division was my fucking downfall.
Yes.
Okay,
thank you.
So when you want to talk about math with me, I'm not going into physics. There are people in this world called physicists that do that stuff, right?
Yep.
And there are people that are called scientists or biologists. They can explain these things to me where I'll go, oh, well, that makes sense. Wow, look what they're doing in science these days, right? They're not lying to me to cover up the fact that, well, God really did it, those people, atheist scientists that are just covering up all this shit, And it boggles my mind that some people literally believe that.
Absolutely.
Those atheist scientists are covering all this stuff to disprove Jesus or disprove God. It's like
when I get some theist who's bound and determined that evolution is my religion and I worship scientists and Darwin as my God and blah blah blah. I love it when I'm like, no, I don't care about that. And they're what? Or there was one the other day, atheists religion is the Big Bang or some crap like that. I'm like, I don't care about the Big Bang.
You guys believe you're just nothing but a big bag of goo that hit another big bag of goo, and
I'm just like, I literally don't care. I don't care if it was the Big Bang or not. I don't care. Like if somebody, I've said this a bazillion times, if somehow somebody was able to prove evolution wrong tomorrow, I would go, okay, so it wasn't that. Let me know when you find out what it was, and nothing in my life would change. Yeah. Literally nothing.
Evolution is not true. Still doesn't mean God's more bullshit then
I know. It's like, okay, so it wasn't that. Let me know when you find out what it is. And if you don't find it out, oh well. You know, and the first thing I get asked all the time, oh, you're an atheist? Well, where did life come from? I don't know.
I don't know.
And I don't care.
I sucked in school, okay?
Yeah.
That brings a point. Could we do something like the Chick Tract? I really don't understand how we could, to be honest. We don't have a dogma. We don't have a doctrine to preach. Can individual atheists make money doing certain
things?
Yes,
I just had an idea. We should do logical fallacy tracts.
Yeah.
Well, the guys over there at yourlogicalfallacyis.com may have beat us to that one.
Well, they need to like get flood the quote market with that stuff. That there needs to be a logical fallacy tract in every damn bathroom everywhere.
Damn it, that's another.
And that's the thing. I mean, really, if you think about it, there's really nothing we could latch onto. Logical fallacies being an exception, but can individual atheists make money speaking or writing a book?
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, they can. We have them in our own little podcast community. Then there's the prophets. You know, we have Dawkins and Harris and Dennett and yada yada yada. But they're not out trying to fleece people.
Yeah.
No. In fact, they're the opposite. They're trying to present the facts as we know it to everyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know what?
They're not telling you. They're not telling you that you're going to die if you don't give them money and accept Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Science is your savior. You know. I mean.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is about as good a spot as any that I can think of for us to kind of stop and. I'll give you guys, if any of you got some last minute item that you want to drop in here before I go ahead and just wrap us, because that was a beautiful point that I was trying to get to earlier, very specifically, and thank you for nailing that one. So I want to give you guys a moment to get whatever last item. I know I'm kind of putting the kibosh on this thing, but 2 hours is kind of our thing, and as much as I would love to go longer. Yeah, I don't think that's such a good idea. I mean, it's going to be bad enough for Hi, Dalan. Anyway,
yeah, he's got to, sort through all this.
Yeah, he'll eventually do it. Anyway, so because the way that I run it, Heretic Woman, let me give it to you. Beth, I'll get you then Lobster, because since you're the actual guest, I'll give you like almost the last word. So, Heretic Woman, what last item do you want to drop into the whole damn thing at this point?
There are ways that we can make this type of thing useful. For instance, my friend Scott, who lives not too far from me, who is beyond incensed at the whole Catholic thing, he is also an ex-Catholic. Last Sunday, he picketed his local Catholic church just by himself, made a couple of signs. One said, collection plate equals pedophile defense fund. And the other sign said, worship responsibly. So, and he made a point. He said, his picketing went okay, but he got there a little late. And that meant that not as many people saw him as he had hoped would see him, because more people had already gone in. But he said, there are an awful lot of cars out here that could, get flyers, which I know we talked about that already, but
don't touch my car.
Yeah. But this is Canada. I mean, people do that all the time. Almost every time I go to a mall, I come out and there's something under my windshield. So it's pretty commonplace here, but
look at the bright side. On this side, anytime there's something stuck under the window, sometimes it's a 9mm on a very high trajectory course, but that's a whole other thing.
Okay, well, that didn't happen here. But what if you could make a high quality, glossy, schmazzy tract that explains why tithing to the Catholic Church is supporting a child abuse ring. In minute detail if you wanted, and you just hand those out to people. You could even just kind of stand near the sidewalk and smile and be, maybe pretend like you're the church greeter. hand out here's why you should stop being Catholic pamphlets. That could work.
That is consideration.
People need to stop being Catholic.
Or at least joining them up with everything. Beth, is there anything that you want to finish off with? You got it.
Just to go along with what Deb was saying is that I think we have a specific purpose in mind, such as picketing, then, from a standpoint, I don't see a problem with it. But to solely do it for profit, to literally fleece, your Indians, that's, to me, is problematic. Would I put a kibosh on it? No, I just wouldn't, financially support by purchasing said product. So there's a very easy I wouldn't utilize. But I would, I think we have to look at it. I mean, with something like the Chick Tracts and the one from the Billy Graham Association, it's like they're not concerned about their mortal soul. If they were, they'd be doing more to prevent, the suicides among LGBTQ individuals. They'd be doing more to prevent suicide among our military veterans. There would be no military veterans homeless if they really freaking cared. And I think their motives need to be checked, and they need to be challenged. I mean, going to Haiti and giving them e-Bibles? No. I would rather, as much as I hate the shoebox little things they do as well, because they're putting trial-sized toothpaste in there that'll last you maybe 2 or 3 times, I'd rather see that than e-Bibles or tracts. Something that's more, sustainable. So I think the motive needs to be checked.
Fair enough. Lobstah, since, like I said, since this is your first time and being a guest, you almost get to finish the whole thing off. So whatever it is that you'd like to go ahead and finish off with, man.
Well, thanks, Bob. I think, just kidding. I always want to say that. But, no, when you talk about fleecing, for business, for profit or something, a lot of times, there are costs involved, right? And when people ask for money for things, right, it's not just the printing, it costs, say, 3 cents. If you're going to do something, sometimes you have to do it right. If you're using people, even if you're not paying people, there's logistics, getting people from one place to another. There's all sorts of things. And will somebody in the end maybe make a few bucks? Yeah. And fine. I have no problem with that. I mean, people that have podcasts and products, that's, or have a certain message, if that's their gig, I mean, if they're telling people false things, like the church and, give us 10% of your income, I mean, that's different. But my big thing is with this whole Catholic Church thing is the amount of apologize. Like I said earlier, this bishop or somebody from that guy from the Catholic League, I think it was. Thank a priest for not molesting your kids, right? Let's pray for everybody. Let's forgive and forget this shit, right? And with all this shit going on, the first thing they do is start throwing out aspersions and all sorts of deflections, right? And then they'll come out with well, we all fall short from the glory of God, but it's a good thing God's there to forgive us, right? It's a loophole of bullshit where they can, it's like I said in that hangout the other night, Heretic.
Yeah.
I've seen his bumper sticker that says Christians aren't perfect. We're just forgiven,
Mhm.
But people have to stop, like it's been what, 2 weeks since that Catholic Church thing?
Yeah.
Since that report came out, you don't hear anything more about it really. Sporadically, you'll hear see an article of another Catholic bishop saying, it's because of secularism and homosexuality are to blame for Catholic priests. That's actually an article. And so people don't forget, but they don't talk about the stuff that goes on in the Catholic Church, right? Until there's a big article about it, or the state of Pennsylvania has a giant, news conference, right? People don't talk about that because they're afraid that they're going to offend somebody, right? And when you expose bullshit like this, yeah, you're going to piss some people off, right? And so many people are afraid of getting pissed off because they want to come across as a nice, friendly person. And sometimes to get a message across, you've got to be not the biggest asshole in the world, but you have to be able to smile and be an asshole, just like in religion, right? That's just my opinion, So anyway, Bob, back to you.
It works out. There's two things that I want to follow up on. The first of which is as something that I had written to the guys over here in our own text chat. Wheaton's rule.
Yeah. So.
Don't be a dick. It's a really important thing. And people dropping these stupid flyers, you're being a dick. And there's a couple of reasons why. One, you're doing it in places where people have to clean up your garbage because you think it's more important to leave your possession, what was your possession, behind for someone else to take. Regardless of any other piece, the physical thing is leaving your possession, and someone else now has to take possession that did not ask for it. And that's a little something called consent. Consent is important in a lot of different areas, and it's not just sex. If you leave your stuff behind, somebody else has to take ownership of it, whether they wanted to or not. And that's wrong on many, many levels. Another piece of it is the people who are intentionally giving these out and those that are intentionally printing them up. You're making money off of something that is simply not provable and hasn't been for well over 5,000 years. No gods to date have been shown to be real. The closest one that we could actually say could have been is Thor. And that's only because he got his own goddamn movie. Don't start with me.
I would have said Lemmy, but, go ahead.
The only god that I know of that shows on any basis of regularity is the great god Murphy. And even then, you can't always depend on.
And he is the ultimate of dicks.
It's true. So, if you are making your money off of these for a lie, you're immoral. You may be completely legal in doing what you're doing, but you're completely immoral. And if you're one of those people who takes these and leaves them behind for somebody else to have to take possession of, even if it's just to throw it out, You're being a dick because you're not giving to someone, you're not giving the option of consent. Or even worse yet, you may be completely going around somebody's posted sign that says no publications or no anything, no picketing on private property,
flyer.
no flyers on private property. You want to do it all on your own time? You want to walk up and down the street and offer? That's a different matter. But just without consent doing this, you're being a dick. Cut it out.
Well, and if you think about it, where you found that in the store laying around, you know, if we went into chapters and moved all the Bibles to the fiction section, they'd be a little pissed at us. Even though I'm sorely tempted to do that on many occasions, I don't.
Yeah.
And because that's kind of a dick move. But hey, you want to litter your shit all over the store? Oh, well, that's perfectly fine because Jesus.
There's people that have actually done that. There's videos of people that have actually done that.
Yeah. Believe me, I've been very, very tempted to do that. But they wouldn't like that very much because then somebody has to go and put it all back.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's called creating jobs.
Yeah. Just to solidify that point. Let's say you get 100 people putting those tracks around. Somebody's got to clean it up, and that's going to cost the business money.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly it. Now, item last. If I were to go ahead and tell you that I had a deity figurehead, and I said that I had pictures of, I'm using this as an example.
Who is that?
And for those of you that are listening to the show
That
afterwards,
My Little Pony?
yes,
yep.
it's a card for Nightmare Moon.
Are you a brony?
Amongst other things.
Okay.
Now, if I said that this was a character that I worship, now let's just say for clarity's sake, I do not, but hypothetically, you would probably go ahead and tell me that, I was nuts, or at the very least, you'd be thinking it was stupid. Okay. But if I said, you should be too, well, now we're going to have issues. Why? Well, because you think that I'm off my rocker. Because, I mean, come on, man. It's a TV show for kids. Well, that doesn't change the fact that she's real.
Well, Barney had always had a message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so did Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
Now, here's the question. Is it right for me to put copies of this card with my personal testimonial on the backside, telling people that they should be worshiping the moon and this character all over the place because I think it's the right thing to do?
No, but if you were around doing that, I'd want to make sure you had a camera because I don't want to see people laughing at you.
But, and here's the piece that pulls it all together. You all who know me know full well that my intent was parody. The big difference is the people who put these out are completely serious.
Yep.
And truly believe that the vast majority of the rest of the human population deserves punishment. Doesn't matter how long, but just because they are who they are deserves some level of punishment. And the ones who print it up are allowing that to continue, that cancer to continue in society for money. So you publishers, if you want to go ahead and be completely making money on a legal endeavor, that's perfectly fine. You're well within your rights. But I say to you, you can be completely legal, but I'll still claim the only amount of money that you're really earning is 30 pieces of silver. Because you're completely stabbing society in the back.
I thought he was going to say shekels, but sorry.
Close enough.
You guys, yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just hard for me to shut up for very long. I'm sorry.
But you did an admirable job. In any case, everybody, thank you very much for being with us tonight. We hope that you had yourselves a fun time listening to us and our perspectives on stuff, and that you found something worthwhile to think about from all of it all. So let me go ahead and thank the guys that were in the live chat. Phyllis, I know that you were there. Stephanie, Beth, God damn it, Beth, really doing this to me? You did it too to me, Terry.
Not today.
You were in there.
Well, you said I had a message in live chat.
Yeah. Perfect. Anyway, so everybody, thank you very much for joining. Hope that you guys had yourselves a good time. So let's go ahead and say good evening because, well, why the hell not? Lobstah, be my guest, please. Tell everybody who you are, where you are, and like I said, don't disappear because I need to type all this shit out.
Well, I'm the Lobster. Some people like me, some people don't anymore because of something that happened about a month or two ago that I won't discuss. But something that was supposed to be funny and it didn't turn out to be funny. But anyway, Lobstah Ministries. I make fun of religion. I don't debate. I just make fun of it. And it's like that. Thank you for having me, Bob. It's been fun.
See, now you got me thinking. From high above the skies at WKRP Studios, thank you for being. It's some people get. I know there's a couple people that are right now that are just going. I get that reference. That's good. That's good. You're my people. Friggin' oldsters.
Back to you.
Yes.
Couldn't quite hear you there, Bob. What were you saying? Oh yeah, I remember that. Remember that was like just cutting edge TV when Dr. Johnny Fever, right?
Yes.
It was like
oh my God. Just don't fly on Thanksgiving, okay?
Exactly.
Oh, the turkeys, that's still one of the funniest things.
That's a whole other thing. Beth, of course, hon, thank you very much for staying awake for the whole damn thing, especially.
Yeah, I'm surprised I actually was able to stay awake. It was a busy day at work, but thank you for having me.
And your spiel about...
You could do the show plugging for me this time.
Big Monday, Lobstah.
Do what?
Yeah. Oh, he don't know yet. Lobstah. I think Lobstah's, if he's free, is going to be our guest tomorrow. If you'd like.
Okay.
Oh yeah. What time? Tell me when, man. I'm always
7:30. 7:30.
Shut up, Beth. Tell them.
Easiest way to find me is on Twitter, Dune9998.
I don't do Twitter.
It connects to my blog, Havoc and Chaos, and I just added about 60 diddling priests and lay people and religious people to the blog, and I have another 40 in line. So yeah, there's a lot of stories that I added this week, and that connects to the blog. That also connects to my Facebook, which is under Beth A. Hambridge. If you send me a request for friend request, please make sure you notate that it's either from this show or from our show, which is Beyond the Trailer Park, every Monday, 7:30 to 9:30, and this week things work out, we will have the Lobstah, and I'm not quite
promises
sure
to be a train wreck then.
Yeah, well, our shows usually are. But yeah, you can find me, both Deb and myself on Monday nights, along with our other co-host Morgan Stringer, and we just discuss all manners of relevant to the atheist community. And we are on YouTube. We'll be putting out a link sometime in the next 24 hours. Well, hopefully before the show. So next 17 hours of my right.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's where you find us. Back to you, Shu.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to get something together for.
He was writing his notes.
Partly so. I'm kind of dealing with a thing that I lost.
Uh-oh.
What the hell?
I don't know where it is. Sorry.
No, it's all right. I'll figure it out anyway. I'll find it momentarily. And as a complete aside, by the way, Beth, is it okay if I download and share off on the Twitter account and everything the new picture that you put together?
New picture?
I mean,
yeah, for sure. That's why I added it on there. For people that don't know, Deb and I have had a group page for Beyond the Trailer Park and the original Atheists on Air with Cash and Professor Steven. We kind of sort of took over that domain, so to speak. And the other day I decided to go ahead and add Shujin to our little family. As I mean, what we're going on, 3 years we've known each other, Shu? Four?
Yes.
I lost you. So Shujin is now part of that family. He posts, primarily in that group, and it's basically the Atheists on Air group page. Holy crap now. And so welcome aboard, Shu. So
well, if you're going to throw out credentials with your show and everything, I do have to brag and tell you about this. You're a professor. I don't have a degree, but I do have some community college behind me. So I have that going for me. So that's my credential.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, but
that's all right. And Heretic Woman, what little pieces are left over for you at this point now to say goodnight with?
Basically, if you want to hear me read the Quran so you don't have to, you can find me at www.fullquranic.com. And of course, I'll be, doing the whole Beyond the Trailer Park thing tomorrow, tomorrow now because it's Sunday already. So
it's true.
And remember, everybody, there are people out there that are praying for each and every one of us.
Oh, yeah.
They're welcome to it. Item last, before we get out of here, of course.
I get told that every day. Sorry.
For us, if you would like to check out all of the stuff for us, including get a link over to the audio version of the show, take a swing over to holycrapthevlogcast.com. The link for the audio portion is over on the left side of the screen. It's a weird thing. If you're not quite sure where the link is, let us know. We'll kind of point you towards it because
well, I'm pretty retarded, so
the way that the icons work, it's weird. Sorry, it's not our fault. It's the tech. If you would like to send us off a voicemail message, you can feel free to do that. 859-HCTV-554. Again, 859-4288-554. And not that anybody really does it very often, but if you feel like throwing money our way on a monthly or even a single monthly basis,
but you don't want to be fleeced, right?
Well, that's the thing of it is, that's why I say, if you want to throw on a monthly or just do a one-off monthly and then say, cancel it for the next, because I don't want people to be, $1 a show and we're constantly posting to it because, truth be told, I can't be arsed to be updating that all the time. Screw that noise. You can take a swing over to patreon.com/HCTV because I got lucky that way and it got that one. Item last. As I had mentioned, the 7th is the anniversary of my meeting my wife. It's 30 years. And even though I still miss her every day, literally every day. I go on and I keep doing my thing because even though I'm not always great at it, it's important to remind people sometimes that you can teach by how you are. You lead by example. You teach by example. And I truly, sincerely hope that you all understand what capital L love can be like. Because it is truly the most glorious and the most terrifying thing all at the same time. So you will take very good care of yourselves. We'll be looking forward to talking to you again next week, assuming I come up with some kind of a topic. I'm sure I'll come up with something. Always seem to. But in any case, have a great rest of the holiday weekend. Please be safe. And for those of you on the coasts, good luck with the hurricane season, huh? In any case, until the next time we get together, everyone. Sorry, emotions are starting to get to me now because we're at the end. As always, I wish you all the peace I no longer have. I wish you the strength that I've learned. I wish you well. And as I always say, over 13 years later, hon, I am still in love. Matane Fujin. I love you. I miss you. Dream of me. Till the next time we get together, everyone, as always, good night.